more or less. And then with a darker shade of brown, that's going to be like the the other color that Skye has. You see, so just two little pieces of this kind of darker. Maybe this one is not exactly the correct shade, but I was filming in the middle of the night, so the light was a bit tricky to, so the color really changes. But I hope you can see the definition there. And then I'm making the mouth. So first I'm doing the bottom part of what the mouth is going to be. So you start with kind of a how I'd say like a little triangle. You just mold it a little. It has to be a small piece. I think in my case maybe it was a little too wide. But anyway, at the end I was pretty happy with the result. But if you can see, it's I shape it first. This is going to be like the lower lip. You see? At the beginning it kind of looks like a bird, right? But it'll get to look like an actual dog. You'll see. And now I'm doing the same thing. It's kind of a similar shape, a little bulkier, you see, and then you put it on top, and that's going to be the upper lip. So you see, it does kind of look like a little duck, but you just kind of play around with it until you find a shape that looks good for you. So no need to have really fancy modeling tools, just your hands, your fingers, and just play around with it. I do recommend using a Crisco, like having your hands kind of slippery makes it better for the actual shape at the end. So there you see I did use the modeling tool just to shape where the nose is going to be placed. And the nose is just like a little black triangle. I'm sorry that was off the camera, but if you can see, it's a little black triangle, and you just place it there and give the shape of the mouth. I'm using that, but you can just use a toothpick. I actually change from one to the other constantly, depending on the definition that I want to give it. So you see, now it's starting to actually look like her and not a duck anymore. And then you make like two little holes, and you're going to place the tiny white pieces of that one was too big, and there you stick it in there. Do the same with the other one. So for the eyes, I actually saw they're not actually brown, so it's like a shade of what is it, kind of like not purple, but kind of I don't know the name in English. It's like a pink reddish kind of wine color. It's kind of like a red wine color. Yeah, that's what I'd say. So you put those teeny little balls there. I put a little more just to make them a little bigger. I find that they look cuter when the iris is a bit bigger. I don't know. This is just me. Maybe the actuals are not like this, but that's how I do it. And then just put another one in black for the pupil, and put an itsy bitsy tiny white one for the shine, to give it a little bit of light, and it totally, enhances the eyes. I think I didn't used to do this before, but I find that it just makes it look cuter. So I'm just going back again with I usually don't go back so much to the details, but honestly this day the humidity was not helping for my first video. Anyway, so now I'm using again this light pink for the straps that are going to go around the head, and just make like little snakes and flatten them out with your fingers and just put it on top. Later on I found that I actually forgot to put the hair, that she has like these little bangs, so I had to detach this. So just don't do the same mistake that I did. You actually have to put the little hair first, and then you go ahead with this. But if you finish seeing the video, you'll see what I mean. but I'm doing the goggles. So you first do the strip, and then it's off camera, but it's with a darker shade of pink. You do 2 little balls and you flatten them out. And what I did, hopefully for the other goggle, I did put it on the camera correctly. I think I figured, or not yet. There you go. You see? So I'm doing like a little wheel, and then just shaping it and defining where because it's like 2 slices, right? If it makes sense. There. So you do like you split the donut. You put it on top, and then with a bit of white, you two little balls, just really teeny ones, and you attach them there, which are going to be the actual glass. Okay, so she's starting to look a lot like her. That's where I found that I hadn't done the the hair and actually the eyes. So here I'm putting like a black line just to define where I don't actually put eyelashes, but it's just like the black line that defines the eye. It's really thin snake that I used for this one. I had a bit of trouble, as you can see there, to actually stick it on, because again, because of the how wet or humid the day was. But you see what I mean, right? So it's just these little teeny bitsy snakes, and you put them around the eye, just because it helps to kind of define and make her more girly, I guess, or just define the eye a little better. So I'm just going back there so that the eyes look symmetric. And that's where I'm putting the hair finally. The 3 little bangs. It's like 3 teardrops. Very tiny ones. And just put them on top of the other. There they go. And now you can put the goggles on top. So I put a bit of water, just because they had dried, the goggles were a little bit dry by then. So there she is. And then now finally just with the ears, so it's just like a bigger teardrop. I flatten it out, and then again with my knife or the cutter, you can just shape them like you did with the paws, and you make these tiny teardrops that are gonna imitate the hair. And there you have your ear. So you just attach it there on one side, gonna stick it in there, and you do exactly the same thing with the other ear. So another teardrop, flatten it, and the tears for the little kind of curls. No, it's kind of curly. And then you attach it there, and she's already looking like herself. I'm actually really happy with this one. You see what I meant? So I got a little bit of probably my hands were with all of the colors, so I decided to put like a little flap on top just to cover that up, and actually I think it looked even better. So I'm just flattening out a bit of fond with the same rectangle, and it's like a flap that is covering it, so you see. And there she is. Oh, finally, for the final details, so she has this what do you call it? It's the for the collar, it's like her little medal, or her little identifier. Sorry, this word in English, I can't find it, but I think once you see it, you'll know what I mean. This part is actually for me the most difficult part, because these tiny pieces are always kind of struggle for me, but I hope you can kind of see it. She actually has like I'm not sure if it's a crown or like a star what she has, but honestly I just put like 3 little pieces of white, kind of copying the shape just so that it looks similar to what she has. And with a bit of water, I just attached it there. And then a little piece of brown, it's like the ring that is holding that itsy bitsy little piece. So you see there, just with my practically my only tools. There she is. I hope you guys enjoy the video, especially hope it's useful for you. And let me know your comments and follow me on Facebook as Sweet Little Deli. Thank you so much.